Hi, good morning, everybody. Let's get started here. We'll get this show on the road. Let me get my notes flipped around here, and we're ready to go. Glad everybody could join us this morning. All right, we're going to start out with leaderboards. So we had a very solid week, and some of you guys went out and had some monster weeks. So let's take a look at riders for the week. We had James Gerling had 2 applications, $407 direct to Jeremiah. We had Jeff Abramots. Jeff, I'm sorry, I'm screwing up your last name. I'll get that fixed. Well, I'll talk to you later about how to actually pronounce that. 1 application, $813 direct to Matt Glass. We had Laura Pollard, 2 applications, $842 direct to Spencer Kushin. We had Miss Stella Dinwiddie, 2 applications, $1,668 direct to myself. Mr. Spencer Kushin, 4 applications, $3,185 direct to myself. We had Christian Rini, 4 applications, $3,460 direct to Jeremiah. Donna Turner, 8 applications. It looks like Donna took the app count lead for the week. So congratulations, Donna. 8 applications, $3,897 direct to Mr. Jeremiah Nolan. Brett Applin, 3 applications, $5,644 direct to John Paul Vetter. Mr. Jeremiah Nola, 1 application, $7,500 direct to myself. That happened to be a Your Family Bank application. Congratulations. I think that's the first one come through. And a nice one at that. Number 2, John Paul Vetter. This, I should have built this up a little bit because number 1 and number 2 were separated only by $200. And Mr. John Paul missed out by $200, but still put in 6 applications, $9,185 direct to myself, which leaves number 1 again this week, Ms. Julia Pappas, out crushing it. 2 applications, $9,385 to John Paul's $9,185. So we literally are $200 apart on the leaderboard. So congratulations, guys. That is awesome. For the month of May, just kind of a quick recap here. Guys, we hit a high water mark in May, so I'm really proud of what this agency did. We had 32 riders. I think we've actually, 34, 35 has been our high on riders, so we're right on track there. But APV is where we really stepped it up big time. $213,000 as an agency, $213,106. I think our previous high water mark had been right around 170, 175. I should have looked that up this morning, but I was running a little bit behind. So congratulations. Top 10 for the month of May. Let me run through this real quick. Number 10 was Jeff Kidd, had 1 application, $7,500. Diane Newman, 4 applications, $8,388. Greg Shapiro had 7 applications, $9,832. Donna Bates, 14 applications, $13,443. Jeremiah had 16 applications, $14,112. Spencer had 20 applications, $16,280. Julia had 15 applications, $16,641. Miss Devin Quick had 21 applications, leading us for app count for the month of May, but she was number 3 on APV at $17,038. Mr. John Paul Vetter was in number 2 slot. Man, you getting beat out on every leaderboard this morning, but I think you're gonna be okay with this one because he had 15 applications, $18,651. And I think he's okay with number 1 because number 1 happened to be Mr. Brett Applin, who is part of the Vetter agency with 11 applications, $20,501 for the number 1 spot for the month of May. Awesome month, everybody. You guys are out crushing it. All right. So let's jump in and take a quick sip of cold coffee. Get the morning going right. So
yeah, it's been a week in St. Thomas, Chris. Cut me some slack.
Yeah, no, I mean we're all feeling really bad for you. Having to go to St. Thomas and still being number 2 on the leaderboards for the month of May. That is a rough life you live. But anyway, we'll send your sympathy cards to Atlanta, care of John Paul Vetter, and he'll and any money that you can put in there, I'm sure he'll go ahead and take too. I did want to mention this because part of team growth is going to be new riders. So for the month of May, we had actually 11 new riders in the month of May. That's awesome, guys. New riders in the Vetter Agency, the Nolan Agency, the Menifee Agency, the Kushian Agency, and I think that is, Mr. Matt Glass had a new rider as well. So congratulations to all of you recruiters, team builders. You guys did awesome, and looking forward to greater things ahead. One of the things I wanted to touch on this morning, guys, is I was looking at the leaderboards. It's amazing. I see some incredible growth. And again, we hit a high water mark in May. We had a monster week this week in the agency. And part of that is because we're seeing incredible growth with some individuals on this team. So people are taking what we learned and some of the new tools that we're coming out with out of conference and really plugging those into their business and taking it to the next level. But part of what I'm seeing also, and this is something that I want to address with you guys this morning, is we're seeing some, what I would call a little bit of apathy on some folks' part. Not just in numbers, APV. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm seeing some people out there that are putting in incredible activity and just haven't got there where they want to be on their goals. And that's one thing. But what I'm talking about is when I see people that on the activity, just not plugging into the business, not putting in the work and the time, and an overall attitude about the business, that becomes problematic. Not necessarily obviously as an agency, we want to see that continued growth, and we are. But one of the things is I look at this screen and I see all your pictures up here, and it's great to have all you on this Zoom call. This is why we love having this call. I get to see you all in person. We have so many phone calls with you every week. As I'm looking here, guys, I'm looking at really a board of champions. People who it's amazing to me as I'm looking at all these faces and names. Each and every one of you are here because either myself or one of the leaders on this team saw something in you and knew that you could really win at a high level here. And unfortunately, one of the things that, and it's just part of the business, is, people fail in this business, not because of the business, but because of them, because of themselves, unfortunately. And, I want to share some things with you because, at the end of the day, the system doesn't fail. You fail the system. And it's important, I just finished a book here, and I think I mentioned it before. It's called Master Your Mind. It's a great book, but I'm going to share some thoughts out of this and actually a couple other books that I've read recently. One of the points that they made in this book is stuck is the byproduct of safe. Stuck is the byproduct of safe. And progress is risky. Sometimes you've got to get out of your comfort zone. In fact, they make the point, I'm going to read this quote because I like the way they wrote this. Every single thing that creates progress for you is either uncomfortable, risky, or both. And the example they use is if you want to grow your book of business, you have to do some prospecting, which is uncomfortable and emotionally risky. In our game, luckily, we don't have to go up and down the street knocking on doors. We have a lead program that actually puts us, in touch with people who have requested information. Now, are they going to pick up the phone and just be delighted to talk to you? Not always. Sometimes they're not. They've forgotten that they made that request, and that's where the emotional risky parts comes in. But we still have to, we still have to make that effort. We still have to put in that work. And one of the things that is really a challenge for a lot of people is the idea that we're going to, I see a lot of times people will be quote unquote busy. They're studying, they're listening to SoundCloud. Don't get me wrong, I want you to listen to SoundCloud. I want you to pick up a lot of stuff, but they spend all their time prepping and studying and trying to learn the system. But another point that came from the Master Your Mind book is people hide behind busy. They use busy as an excuse not to accomplish what they want, and busy gets in the way of success. So we got to make sure we very clearly differentiate. You do need to invest in your personal growth, but you can't be doing it at the expense of the business itself. So there's time to grow and learn, and there's time to do business, and you have to be very disciplined. So busy gets in the way of success. It gets in the way of making good decisions. And here's the thing, guys, it can be energy draining. Busyness also begets more busyness, leading to a vicious cycle of stress, strain, and unhappiness. So if you're spending all your time, quote unquote, being busy and shuffling your paperwork, you're actually going to create more stress for yourself because you're not going to be doing the activities that are going to move you forward in this business and get you where you want to go. And so, don't hide behind busy. Scrolling through my notes here. Hang on just a second. Let me get to understand that we have strong tendencies ingrained in us, which cause us to keep making the same mistakes over and over again until we fix the underlying cause. Again, if you're not where you want to be, it's because of what you're doing. It's not because of the system. And so you have to make a commitment to ongoing self-improvement. Part-time is okay, but part committed is not. You've heard that actually said in conference. And so part of what I wanted to share with you this morning is you've got to make a decision. It's got to be part of your mindset. There was a call, 2 months ago. I think I was listening with Brian Pope on one of our builders call, and he said, once you make the decision to do this business, and when I say make a decision, I'm not saying, I'm going to give this a try, or I'm going to work at this and see if I can't make it happen. When we're saying make a decision, what he was talking about, in fact, he expounded on it. He said, you make the decision that this is your business. There are no other options, and this is where it's going to happen. Once you make that decision, that actually takes a lot of mental stress off of you. And the reason that is because you make that commitment. And maybe that's, a better word. Instead of make the decision, you make the commitment. You're just going to do this no matter what. And instead of, are you in or are you out, you're moving forward. The Bible says no man can serve two masters. And in that Bible reference, that's talking about good and evil. You can't be good and then, try to be a little bit bad every once in a while just for the fun of it. You're either good or you're bad. And in that same vein, in that mentality, we can't be saying, well, I'm gonna do what I can with this business, but if it doesn't work out, I could probably go do this, or go back to my old career, or go try something else. Because you just got to make that decision. In fact, if the Bible doesn't appeal to you, I've got another quote for you. And actually, this comes from one of my favorite quotes from in a movie. It actually comes from the movie Outlaw Josie Wales. And the character Josie Wales is in a bad situation. He's got his group around him. They're getting ready to be attacked by the bad guys. And he makes a statement to him. He says, now remember one thing. When things look bad and it looks like you're not going to make it, you got to get mean. I mean, you got to get plumb dog mean. Because if you lose your head and you give up, then you neither live nor win. And that's just the way it is. So sometimes we just got to take a look in the mirror and say, hey, I just got to get plumb dog mean. I got to go out and I got to make this happen on Saturday morning when I'm not wanting to pick the phone up. And hey, I've been there, guys. There's been times where I've spent an hour memorizing names of leads, and if I call this person, he's 65, so he's probably going to say this to me, which means I'm going to say this in return. And I go through an entire dialogue in my head before I even pick up the phone and call. And then I call the lead, and guess what? I don't get an answer. So basically, I wasted an hour trying to figure out how I'm going to have this conversation when I should have just picked up the phone and had the conversation. We all do that. I'm guilty of it. I've done it. But how you break through that is you take it to the next level, and you just power through. Instead of thinking about it, you go do it. So you got to make that decision. So one of the tips that comes from the book, How to Master Your Mind, they said there's 3 things that you can do. Number 1, get help. Number 2, get invested. Number 3, get away. So what does that mean in our business? Number 1, get help. Guys, each and every one of you are here because somebody brought you into this business. And you have got to plug into them. I guarantee you, they want you to call them. They're begging for you to call them. And there's a direct correlation between the number of phone calls that I get and how successful an agent is. Jeremiah Nolan burned my phone down. Spencer Kushin burned my phone down. John Paul Vetter burned my phone down. Julia Pappas burned my phone down. These people wore my battery out. I had to get extra chargers. I had to carry backups with me. Okay? If you want to get at that level, you've got to wear out their phones and my phone if you're direct to me. I want them calling me up complaining I had to upgrade my phone because I wore it out. Guys, that's what happens in this business. And unfortunately, too many times I hear, well, I don't want to bother you. I know you're busy. Yeah, I'm busy with the people who are winning. And I want you to be in that club. So bug me. And I get it. Sometimes you're going to call and you're not going to get us because we're on another call. Guys, leave the message, send the text. We'll circle back. We will get with you. So get help. Get invested. Guys, invested means getting mentally invested. Again, you've got to make a decision. At the end of the day, at the end of this call, there's nothing else you get out of this. Make a decision. And honestly, make a decision either in or out. It's okay if this is not for you. That's okay. No judgment from anybody that brought you on. But you, for your sake, for our sake, you've got to make that decision. Am I going to do this business and I'm going to make it work? You've got to get invested mentally. You've got to get invested emotionally. In other words, you've got to be the biggest fan. You've got to, if that means getting a neck tattoo of Symmetry Financial Group, then hey, I'm signing off on that. Okay? Get invested emotionally. Get invested financially. Invest in yourself and in your business. We'll talk about that here in a minute, and that ties in with get away. Sometimes you kind of got to get away and recharge your brain. So how do we do that? Well, there's going to be some events going on around the country. Kind of keep an eye on announcements. If we're having a summer tour in your area, this is an opportunity for people to kind of come in, associate, kind of learn a little bit more about the company. Watch out for those dates. But the biggest one is going to be the event coming up in Tucson, conference. And conference covers all 3. Conference covers the get the help, get invested, and get away. And I know a lot of you have already made that investment. And I'm not going to make a hard pitch for it this morning. I'm just telling you, if you want to follow up what Master Your Mind is telling you to do, the 3 main things that you can do, you can accomplish all that at conference. Guys, there's a book that I read years and years ago. And actually, it initially didn't make an impact on me in sales. But it did make an impact on me in my posture and attitude. It was a book, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success by Frank Bettger. This book was written back, I think, probably in the 20s, maybe. I mean, it's an old book. Maybe the 30s, I don't remember. Anyway, it was a long time ago, but everything in there is very relevant today. People don't change. Attitudes and everything may change, but people at their core are the same no matter what. And one of the things that resonated out of that book big time with me is Frank Bettger, the author. He was actually an insurance salesman, but in his early days, he was actually a professional baseball player. Back in I believe in the early 20s, but he was a professional baseball player. That caught my attention because I'm a big baseball fan. But he also played for the St. Louis Cardinals at one point, which also caught my attention because that's my team. And but he was talking about when he was coming up through the minor leagues, he wasn't having success. He was just kind of stuck. He wasn't, if you don't know anything about baseball, you go through different levels before you reach the big leagues. And he just wasn't moving up through the ranks. And a coach pulled him aside one day and said, Frank, I can tell you why you're not moving up. And he said, well, tell me, coach, I want to know. He said, you go out there and you play like you don't care. And I'm talking about practice. You know, you go out and you're shagging fly balls and you're just kind of loping around, you know, jogging around, catching. He said, you've got to play, you've got to practice like you play. You've got to go out and you've got to run hard every fly ball, every batted ball. If it's a ground out, you better be running hard like you're going to beat the throw off, even though it's obvious you're not. And he made that switch. He made that mental switch, you know, and again, it had to be a mental switch first before it showed up on the field. He made the mental switch and he started playing like a champion. And he started playing like a champion in practice. He started playing his practice like he was in Game 7 of the World Series. And it took him from a minor league player and took him through the ranks up to the pros. Now, eventually he got out because of an injury, but that mindset carried through with him to his insurance selling, and that's why he included it in his book. You know, there's a quote that I read, and in fact, I think it may be in this Master Your Mind book, and I couldn't find it, but I do remember it because it was from a professional basketball player, Kevin Durant, who said, hard work beats talent unless talent works harder. And so, you know, at the end of the day, again, we've got a lot of talented people on here, but we got some people who are very talented who just aren't stepping up to the plate. So make the decision. Again, if it's not okay for you, I mean, if this is not the business, that's okay. But honestly, guys, save yourself the time. Get in or get out. Honestly, one of the things that I hear sometimes in conversation with people is, you know, they're kind of looking for the catch. They're looking for, you know, what's wrong with this or you know, why is this not going to work, or this particular product or this particular process. Guys, if you're looking for perfection, you're not going to find it here or anywhere. If you do find perfection, let me know. I'm actually going to quit here. I'm going to go join you. Because if you find the perfect system, I'll be there. This is as close as you're going to get, in my opinion. And again, you know, I realize I'm biased, but I'm biased because I made that decision early. From day one, I said, I'm either going to fail miserably to the point where I'm going to be living in a van down by the river, or I'm going to make this work. I didn't have a plan B. So again, guys, I want to end this on a positive note, and I can't stress to you enough as I look at each and every one of your pictures, I'm looking at a group of champions, and I'm seeing that in the numbers. I look at these leaderboards, and I'm seeing some major growth here. And I'm seeing some of you are on the leaderboard, and you're right at the breakthrough line. You just got to take the next step. I mean, you're so close. That's the thing about this business. You could literally go out this weekend, double down on activity, work a little bit harder, and next week be at the very top of this page. That's all it takes. You can go from zero to hero in this business. Literally. I've seen it. I've seen people write blank one week, and then they make the decision, go out, put in the activity, and next week I'm reading their name off on top of the leaderboard. Julia Pappas is raising her hand. She did that. She's been on the top of the leaderboard for the last, I don't know how many weeks. Not because, you know, she had some other things going on, you know, but she recommitted. She doubled down. She came back and made it happen. Each and every one of you can do that. So, guys, that's my encouragement for you today. I want this to be ultimately an encouraging call because you know, this is not about, hey, we need more numbers. Guys, we're going to grow as a business. We just need you to grow individually. You know, we just need you to make the commitment, not because we need it, because you need it. And we want it for you. Okay, we want it for you more than you want it for yourself. Awesome. Guys, appreciate it. Do bug your mentors this week. Right? Today. Start texting them. When can I get with you? Start calling them. Leave voicemails. Bug them. All right? All right, guys, let's go out and have a monster week. Let's hit the dials this weekend. Let's go after it. All right. Appreciate you all. Love you all.
Let's get it, everybody.